bit, huh, Rick? I want to make sure it don't back off.
Over this way. Ernie, are you out there someplace? Come on over this way too. Sorry to hold you up. And I think we've got him converted to buying pine. He really likes what he saw today. He's got to go make it back and do a little reconnoiter. But he said our price was in line. He was really impressed with the product he saw. As he went through a load of lumber out here, he kept saying, "This is really improved. This is really improved. This is a good product." And he prefers to have southern pine over spruce. And he buys it on the railroad. So where's Pete Stiles? That helps everybody if he buys it on the railroad. So it was a very worthwhile venture this morning talking with him. We've come together today to talk about this customer service award that we've just won for the for second quarter. This is the fourth time we've won it recently. As you remember, we won it 3 quarters last year. Philadelphia took it away from us first quarter, and you folks got together and brought it back to Bruce. So I'm real proud of you for that. It's you folks that do the work that did it, and that's especially neat to take it back from Philadelphia. I know it's taken the work of everybody here in this meeting and all 3 shifts and everybody that works in our district to take this award back. And it's a very important award at this point, especially with the market so bad. There's nobody more important to us than the customer, just like this gentleman who was here this morning. And the things we've done to win this award are things that make that customer happy with our product, help make him happy. So there's nothing more important could be done. Charlie Verrucci, our raw materials manager, has invited some of our local civic leaders to be with us today and share in the celebration. Let him introduce them for you. And then Ernie's going to introduce the gentleman who's going to present the award.
Thank you, Dick. I want to say congratulations to the sawmill bunch myself. It was a job well done. Let's keep the trend going. This time I'd like to recognize Mayor J.S. Bryant, town of Bruce, and Alderman Danny Rogers over here on my right. We have 2 county supervisors with us also. We have Howard Morgan in Beat 3 and Larry Snellings in Beat 2. I don't think the other supervisors have made it, or the other aldermen. They were invited. Thank you. Ernie?
Thank you, Charlie. Again, I want to extend my appreciation to all you employees who have done so well to get this award back for us. I knew you could do it. I have a little qualm about the last time, but I think we can hold on to it now. It's my pleasure to introduce Ray Miller from the Southern Trading Center. He's a fellow that sells a tremendous amount of our lumber. And one thing about Ray, he's very, very customer-oriented. He is the type of individual that will not sell a product if it's not right. So when you have Ray Miller promoting your product, you not only have a friend, but you have a means of knowing you're doing a good job, because he simply isn't going to endorse a product he doesn't believe in himself. With that, I'd like to ask Ray to come up here. And we'll turn it over to Ray. Watch it. Thank you.
Congratulations, you got it back. It was a close contest this time. Philadelphia was really running neck and neck right behind. But don't give up. You guys really did a fantastic job. You deserve it in all the categories. You know the categories and what it takes to get it. The traders are very, very much behind you. Some of the comments were things that everyone in the whole organization at Bruce knows what it is to earn the right to be a first choice supplier. Weyerhaeuser, you know, we got the name of the Weyerhaeuser, the tree growing company. We're now going to be Weyerhaeuser first choice supplier. The customers know this, and they didn't believe it. But they find out, just like the customer we had in here today, that all the way down to the guy that's loading the truck or the car. And this is real important. The answers we get from Gwen. The customer has a car or a truck of lumber due to ship out Wednesday this week. It hasn't arrived. He's got his truss plant ready to shut down. We call Gwen and say, what can we do? She says, well, we're running 2 by 6s tonight. We'll surely get it out tomorrow. And 99% of the times that happens at Bruce. But believe me, some of the other mills it does not happen. And you have a perturbed customer. So who do I give the award to? On behalf of the Trading Center, it is a big, deep honor for me to come down here and honor to give you guys this award of excellence for customer service. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations to you all.
They said we needed to say a little something. All I've got to say is just thank the people for doing it. You know, it's nobody but the people that make it possible. This is where things like this belong, and we can keep it here. And Larry's the one supposed to make the big speech, so I turn it over to him.
I just want to, speaking for the sawmill crew and team members, I want to thank y'all for the effort and concern that went into winning this award. The award is just not given away. If you look at the vote, how close it was, it's getting mighty tight. And I just want to thank y'all for the effort and concern y'all put into winning this award.
Thank you all for coming. I see Kelly back there with the food. Looks like it's all ready to be served. Why don't you go back, see if you can find a steak that's about your size.
This is Glenn Ellison. Glenn, what do you do here?
What job I do? We're out on raw, y'all.
Okay, how do you feel about winning the Customer Service Award again?
Well, make you feel good knowing everybody doing the best they can.
All righty. I guess you're looking forward to tearing into that steak, huh?
Yeah, I am.
All righty. Thank you, Glenn. This is Leslie Tillman. Leslie, tell us what you think about winning this award again.
Man, I think it's great. And with the team that we got, we can't miss. We're going all the way to the top.
Jerry, how do you feel about winning the award?
Well, I think it helps us to have more job security, and we know that our company is going to grow, and we want to grow with it.
What do you think is responsible for winning the award?
Who is responsible?
What do you give that responsibility to?
To a great team effort.
Okay, thank you, Jerry. This is Larry Starks, Sawmill Team Coordinator. Larry, we heard your speech a little bit earlier. Maybe you'd like to elaborate a little bit on winning the award.
Well, the voting results, they're getting closer and closer all the time, Gene. So it's really getting critical that we get our appearances up, quality of lumber up, and all that. So I think everybody done a real good job, their part and everything. It's going to take complete team meal effort, not just teams, each individual team, but a complete meal effort to continue to win this award. I'm sure we've got the people and the capabilities down here to do that.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Okay, we were with Larry Snellings, one of our county officials here in Calhoun. Larry, how do you feel about the Weyerhaeuser plant here in Bruce receiving this award again?
They're doing a real good job down here. They got the award. I understand they got the award back this time that they lost last quarter, and they really be commended. Really something for Bruce to be proud of.
Okay, thank you, Larry.
Yes, sir.
With Bruce Mayor J.S. Bryant. Mr. Bryant, how you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
That's great. What do you think about the Weyerhaeuser plant here in Bruce winning this award back?
I think it's a wonderful thing. I really feel good about it for all you people that's working with Weyerhaeuser, and I think Weyerhaeuser's doing a great job for Bruce.
Thank you, sir. So the Bruce employees here at Weyerhaeuser have done it again, brought the Customer Service Award home for a 4th time, and they're well on their way to trying to make it 5 in a row. That's just about going to wrap up this report. We're going to take a break and get over here and try some of this fine steak they're eating. For Paul Heath, this is Gene Redwine reporting for TV7 News here at the Weyerhaeuser plant in Bruce, Mississippi. Five, four, three. Mr. Easley, first of all, what prompted you to take legal action against the Bruce Telephone Company, and then what action have you taken?
Well, Gene, sometime several weeks ago, I got a letter from Bruce Telephone Company advising me that they had installed some, they call customer interface devices on the side of my house, and made the statement I may have not noticed them, which I had not at that time, didn't know anything about it. But in the same letter, they advised me that on my next bill that I would receive a bill for, I believe, $26.50. And without having authorized this or having not known anything about it until I got this letter in the mail from Bruce Telephone Company, I didn't feel like I owed it, especially since I own my own telephones, my own wiring in my house that I had already purchased from them. So I contacted the telephone company about it and advised them that I didn't feel like I owed the bill and wasn't going to pay it. So they advised me they were going to cut my telephone service off to my home if I didn't pay it. And we corresponded back and forth several times, and they gave me a deadline to July the 24th to either pay the bill or they were going to terminate my telephone services. And it just so happened that particular week I was going to be out of town for the whole week, and I didn't want to leave my wife at home without a telephone, so before filing a lawsuit to enjoin them from doing this, I tried to get them to take other legal action that if they considered I owed the bill, and I say I didn't, it was just a disputed bill, and that they could either sue me in local JP court or whatever for the bill. And as I advised them, if the court found that I owed the bill, I'd pay it. And Miss Cunnywaller, who's the manager, advised me no, they'd already told me in writing they were going to cut me off, and that's what she'd been in touch with the Public Service Commission of the state of Mississippi and her legal counsel, and that they were right and they were going to do what they told me they'd do, cut my services off. So I had no other choice then but to seek relief from the courts and file an injunction against them from terminating my services, as well as damages for, in my opinion, their willful and arbitrary decision to do this without any authority. Of course, at that particular time, I didn't have the laws or the rules that the Federal Communications Commission had issued that they contended gave them this right and authority to do. Nor did I have all of the information that I felt I needed from the Public Service Commission. And since that time, I think I've gotten most of it. In fact, the Public Service Commission furnished me with copies of orders of the Federal Communications Commission that the Bruce Telephone Company contends that was giving them this authority, and as well as copies of correspondence and material that Bruce Telephone Company had sent to the Mississippi Public Service Commission. And after looking at this and reviewing this, it's been, as far as I can tell, black and white that they don't have this authority unless it's a new construction or unless there's been, as Federal Communications Commission said, there's been some either new or I say they call it, instead of, maybe it's not new construction, but the same thing, new wiring. We concluded that it would not be necessary to install such a jack or interface when a subscriber purchases existing in-place wiring, just as I did. Said we further noted that we would not forbid the telephone company from installing a jack for existing wiring without a direct charge to the customer. In other words, exactly, if they didn't charge the customer for it, they wouldn't forbid them from doing this. Again, they went on to say that either upon the sale of in-place wiring or as a matter of normal operating practice or service visits, nor would we forbid the telephone company from providing the subscriber with the option. But they go on to say, and they leave it to the customer and the telephone company to try to work out this between the two parties. Or if there is a tariff that the telephone companies gets approved by the Public Service Commission that authorizes such a interface device, then they state that the telephone company may be authorized to put this on a person's or customer's home when that customer, either it's again it's just new hookup with a telephone company, or there has been they call it a change, or I've forgotten the exact wording they use, but when there's been a network change, or you've done some additional wiring that might cause some interference or something to that effect. And this is in those two circumstances. And in fact, I was talking to Public Service Commission people today, and they interpret the law just as I do, that that's the only two times that he could possibly do it under the authority granted under the FCC rules and regulations. So I think it's just something that they may have misinterpreted, but in the information that they sent the Public Service Commission, that they contend that the FCC gave them this authority appears to be information from a organization they're a member of, and it's just more or less abstract statements that they evidently took and thought they were given this permission. This is like membership letter from the United States Telephone Association. I'm sure the Bruce Telephone Company probably belongs to this, and therefore they get this newsletter, and in that newsletter it sets out some of these things that the FCC has done. But in one paragraph here it says, in addition, it said it's talking about the FCC, the demarcation point coordination, and for customers, demarcation point is talked about here. That's the point where the customers, if he owns his wiring, starts and goes into his home, and the others from the telephone has up to that point. The telephone company owns up to that point then. Should be left to the parties involved, and a telephone company installed jack will be required at the demarcation point only when new, and that's COPW, that's capital letters, it's abbreviation, but what it means is FCC, in the FCC orders, they define it as being customer-owned premises wiring. In other words, that's how they designate a customer who owns his own wiring. It said only when new COPW is installed or modifications are made to existing COPW, to the existing, if he makes modifications to existing wiring or he's new installed wiring, those are the only two times. Their own newsletter told them this. But when they come in, and I think there's a lot of other customers in my same shape that they're billing and probably charging, that in my opinion is, totally unauthorized, is $26.50. I've talked to other telephone companies, independent companies, and people involved that own their own water. Nobody else in the state that I know of is doing this. There may be some, but several I've talked to, there's nobody that they're doing this with. So also, in my opinion, this device that they placed on my house allows anyone to come up there and plug a telephone in and and of course they can make a call anywhere in the world, and it would be charged to my number, and I know, you know, it'd be hard for me to prove otherwise that I didn't do it. I don't think that they can plug a telephone in and listen to my conversation from, that's all on the outside there. So at night anybody could come. I think it would cut off the rest of my phones if they plugged in there. I'm not sure about this. I'm not, but they could make, I know that this is the purpose of putting the interface device in, is that Bruce Telephone Company contends that it would help them from having to send a serviceman out if there was some problem, that they could stay in the office and loop it around and tell whether or not it was in their line or not without having to send a serviceman to the premises, and it would be some savings. But also that it could help me, that if I had problems with some of my phones and I didn't know where it was coming from, and without having to call them or some other serviceman, that I could go out, if I knew how, and plug a telephone into the jack out there, and if it would work by making a call to wherever, then I'd know that it was in my wiring or in my other telephones or something that was messing up. And so therefore, I'd know that where the problem was, either in their line or in my line, and then I could call them if I still couldn't work, it wouldn't work after I plugged it in outside. It'd either be in that telephone that I was trying to use or either in their line one. So this is why they contend that it's helpful to the customer, that he could check problems and therefore maybe save him a service call. But again, my contention is, of course, $26.50 is not that bad. But what if it had been $2,650? Same difference. If they want to put it on there without asking me, without getting my approval, or without getting approval of anybody else, and just putting some device on the side of my house. And this is where I feel like, you know, that they're really doing this to discourage other people from owning their own phones and own wiring. But they say, well, look, you're going to have to buy this other device now if you own your own phones, or you're going to have to do this. And it just, I think, would kind of hamper or discourage people from doing this. This is I think their sole purpose of doing what they're doing. And these statements or ads they've been running in the local newspaper, I think are totally in error from what I understand the law to be. I guess this is what the court will find out when we get to court.
And you do plan on pursuing the action?
I do, and I have filed for damages as well as punitive damages for their willful and arbitrary, refusal not to cut my phone off in their attempt to disconnect my services. It would have probably been more damages if I went on and let them disconnect me, but I didn't feel like I could wait and do this, as I'd probably sustain substantial harm by letting them go that far. And I do plan to pursue it, sure.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Y'all been getting? Yeah, we are.
Mm-hmm.
Vance, when the boy Steve, he's the son of Mr. and Ms. Robert Vance. Doc Galbert, I believe he goes to Kevin. The son of Mr. and Ms. Doc Galbert is Jeffrey Harris, the son of Gordy and Lola Harris. And then Joey, got it right, not Joe Cadino. The son of Mr. and Ms. Rupert. And also we have one that's unable to attend tonight by a freak accident Thursday on a three-wheeler. And that was Scott West, the son of Willie Joe and Shirley West. And he felt like he was going to be. But also, we've had the boy state for for years. So this year we tried something else. We had the school to award the American Legion School Award, and those two recipients are here tonight, I believe. It's Susan Steele, right? And then Edwin Bowler Jr. was boy. And let me see, I believe that's all I have, but right now, the auxiliary had some winners and what they did. I believe they'd like to introduce right now.
It's better. We have the girls from Girls State and their families, and we'll be hearing more from them a little bit later on in the program. And we have with us our state president, Mrs. Jean Eady. Would you stand, please, Jean, from Forest, Mississippi? Let's see, we have District 2 President, Lorette Dracon. Nell Gibson from Forest, Unit 9. Nadine Noel from Forest, Unit 9. Have I left anyone out? Imogen Dodds from Boonville. Would you please stand? Thank you. So like I said, it's great to have you here, and we want you to enjoy the fun, food first, fun and fellowship with us. And we will talk about our scholarships later on in the program. Thank you.
While we're introducing guests and waiting on the child, you know, it's always nice to know who you're talking to next door. We have, from the Legion, we have several out-of-town guests. Well, I guess we can start with the godfather of the Mississippi Department, American Legion, Ralph Godwin. He's been around about as long as I have. I mean, from the time I was up, he's been a member of the Legionnaire. Everybody likes to kid him by being the godfather. Our immediate past Department Commander Henry McCoy from Hattiesburg. Our National Executive Committeeman, the last one and the newly elected one, Fred Angelus from Tupelo. Our new Northern Area Vice Commander, Floyd Dodd from Boonville. And the 2nd District Vice Commander, Fred Crockett from Oxford, Crenshaw. And I guess I could introduce myself as a district commander too, the 2nd District, but I won't. Also, from a neighboring post, a sister post, is beginning to shine and go on, is Darwin Lewis from Post 55 in Oxford. Their ambition is to catch us in membership this year, and they've started out. Also, it's good to see so many new members, or old members, but their faces are here tonight for a change. I believe there's one lady that in the audience that I'd like to pay a little special tribute to for several reasons. First of all, she's a widow of the first commander of Post 50 when it was reorganized in 1929. She has a son that's a present member of Post 50, and a granddaughter that's an award winner tonight. And the lady I'm talking about is Miss Fox. If you stand up, Miss Fox.